I'm pretty sure that Rowan Atkinson and Richard Curtis need no introduction. The latter is a prolific screenwriter who practically invented a subgenre of rom-com, whilst the former is one of the most recognisable faces in comedy. Together, they created two of the most popular British comedy shows of all time, the historical sitcom Blackadder and the international slapstick phenomenon Mr. Bean. However, before they created the silent comedy character, they wrote a short film starring Atkinson as a character that has been cited as a prototype of Bean. Dead on Time follows Atkinson as Bernard Fripp, a mildly annoying dull man who gets given half an hour to live by his doctor. Bernard then rushes around London, attempting to spend the last 30 minutes of his life in the best way he can, frantically attempting to experience as much culture as possible in as little time as possible. It's a simple but effective premise that works well for a 30-minute short. The main character may have inspired Mr. Bean, but that's where the similarities end. It's not one of those short films that feels like it was initially intended as a proof of concept for something bigger. The premise is perfect for this length. I think it would risk wearing thin if it was stretched out for another format. About half of the short takes place in Covent Garden, which is a lovely place. They made really good use of the setting here, and it's nice to see how little is changed. The bustling cultural hub is the perfect setting for this story of anxiety and the pleasures of life. Needless to say, Atkinson's performance is brilliant. I think there's no real need for me to reiterate what a funny physical performer he is. That's superfluous at this point. He's synonymous with it. We care just enough about Fripp to want him to succeed in his rushed bucket list, but we can still laugh at his expense, and that's a difficult balance. There's plenty of familiar faces in the cast, with Adrian Edmondson, Nigel Planer, Tim McInnery, Christopher Biggins, and even Little Nell of Rocky Horror fame in very small supporting roles. One of them was even played by a very young pre-fame Rupert Everett, who I didn't recognise at all. I found out from looking at IMDb. The Doctor is played by Nigel Hawthorne of the Yes Minister fame, and Jim Broadbent plays a cheery, helpful priest. Everyone was great. There wasn't a weak link in it, and it was fun spotting them all. The script is brilliant too. I laughed out loud several times when watching this for the first time. I'd recommend it to fans of British comedy, as well as Rowan Atkinson and Richard Curtis's other work. I don't know who else I would recommend it to, but I'd say it has a pretty broad appeal, especially compared to the more niche stuff I cover. It's a real hidden gem. If you want to check it out yourself, it's available on YouTube or on one of those official free movie channels. If you'd like me to talk about a lesser-known short that Curtis co-wrote that was a long-lost pilot for a monkey-style TV series starring pop ska band Madness, you can watch my review of Madness the Pilot right here. See you soon!
My feet are down backwards, yours are.